the basket. James catches, puts up a three. Won't go. Rebound Bosh. Back out to Allen. His three-pointer. Bang!
Ray Allen, undeniably one of the greatest shooters that we ever seen in the game of basketball. His shooting form is beautiful. One of the cleanest and prettiest released in NBA history. Ray Allen was the NBA's three-point king and held that record for over 10 years until recently when Steph Curry surpassed him. When fans think of Ray Allen, they quickly marvel at his incredible shooting stroke and hitting perhaps the greatest shot of all time in the 2013 NBA Finals against the San Antonio Spurs, snatching victory from the jaws of defeat. People mainly remember Ray Allen from his days with the Boston Celtics and Miami Heat. But how good was Ray Allen actually? In this video, I'll take a dive into Ray Allen's career and reveal just how good he actually is. After being taken with the 5th pick by the Minnesota Timberwolves in the star-studded 1996 draft class, Ray was traded to Milwaukee in exchange for Stephon Marbury on draft night. Many people don't remember this, but when Ray first burst into the scene, he was very athletic and had bounce. He even participated in the 1997 slam dunk contest and had his fair share of posterizations. Sure, he wasn't athletically given like a lot of his counterparts, but Ray Allen was nasty in the paint, putting several big men on a few posters. He was more than just a spot-up shooter. Shooting was his specialty, but he had an excellent all-around game. He can create his own shots, score in isolation, and was more than capable of creating for others. Jesus Shuttlesworth started his career in Milwaukee. For many years, when Bucks fans think of number 34, they think about Ray Allen. That is until Giannis took over the host state of Wisconsin. Ray was part of a three-headed monster in Milwaukee with Glenn Robinson and Sam Cassell. It didn't take long before Ray took over as the Bucks' best player. Allen was a problem and kept many coaches up at night. He led Milwaukee to 3 playoff appearances from 1999 to 2001. In 2001, the Bucks were 1 win away from reaching the NBA Finals. Allen was terrific in the Eastern Conference Finals against Philadelphia, where he put up 27 points per contest and shot over 50% from behind the arc. The 76ers eventually won the decisive Game 7 at home, but that series came with a lot of drama. Rumor has it that the NBA wanted the bigger market Philadelphia in the finals, going up against Shaq and Kobe to draw a higher rating. And it sure looked that way based on a lot of questionable calls that went Philly's way. Milwaukee was whistled for 43 more fouls, and the Sixers took 66 more free throws over the course of the series. With that being said, early in his career, Ray Allen was one of the best young players. He was up there with the likes of Iverson, Kobe, T-Mac, and Vince Carter. He spent 6.5 seasons with the Bucks. Over the course of that time, he made 3 All-Star appearances, averaged 19.6 points, 4.6 rebounds, and 3.8 assists per game, and shot 41% from behind the arc and 90% from the charity stripe. After the incredible run in the 2001 playoff, Milwaukee found themselves struggling and barely playing above 500. Rumor has it that head coach George Karl and Ray Allen were not seen eye to eye, and because of that, Bucks management traded Ray Allen to Seattle for Gary Payton and Desmond Mason in February of 2003. This is one of the worst moves of all time. Milwaukee got 28 games out of Payton, who left in free agency in the offseason. So essentially the deal was Ray Allen for Desmond Mason. Let that sink in for a minute. Mason was a decent player, but nowhere near the caliber of player Allen is. How stupid could the Bucks be? Needless to say, Seattle got the better end of this deal. The Sonics got a 27-year-old player just entering his prime. In Seattle, Allen was the face of the franchise, and this is where he put up career numbers. With Rashard Lewis next to Ray Allen, they were the original Splash Brothers. On a nightly basis, they were lighting up opponents. Some of his best individual highlights came as a member of the Sonics. He led them to the Western Conference semifinals in 2006 before losing to the Spurs in 6 games. Unfortunately, that was all the team success he experienced in the Pacific Northwest. But individually, he was spectacular. Averaged a career high in points in 2007, with 26.4 points per game, and dropped a career high of 54 points on the Utah Jazz that same year. Allen spent 4.5 seasons in Seattle. During that stretch, he was a 4-time All-Star, averaged 26.4 points, 4.6 points, and 4.2 rebounds per game. Shot 39% from behind the arc, and again, 90% from the free throw line. By the end of Allen's tenure in Seattle, he was tired of losing and joined forces with KG and Paul Pierce in Boston. With the Celtics, Allen became a third option. His touches and shot attempts dropped significantly, but it was all part of the sacrifice to win. He played most of the time off the ball, ran around screens, or swatted up for threes. Despite the limited touches, Ray had his fair share of highlights. He hit countless big shots and on many occasions was the man Doc Rivers turned to for the dagger. The Big Three in Boston started the modern era of super teams. Together they were a dominant trio and finally climbed over the mountaintop by beating Kobe and the Lakers in the 2008 NBA Finals. Ray spent 5 seasons in Boston and by far enjoyed the most team success of his career while still being a key member of the squad. Winning 68% of his games with the Celtics, averaged 16.7 points, 3.4 rebounds, and 2.3 assists per game, 41% from behind the arc, 91% from the free throw line, and made 3 All-Star appearances. After an ugly exit from Boston, Ray took his talents to South Beach to play with LeBron James and Dwayne Wade. It was reported that Allen and Rondo didn't get along while playing together, and clearly Pierce and KG took it personal when Allen joined the Heat. Sometimes you can't blame Ray for leaving. He was the least valued member of the Big Three, and his name was always brought up in trade rumors. Once he got to the Heat, Allen was already 37 years old and no longer the player we once knew. But he was still able to stretch the floor and open the driving lanes for James and Wade. Heat fans will always thank Ray Allen for his iconic shot against the Spurs. This incredible shot in the final seconds of Game 6 in the 2013 NBA Finals kept Miami's season alive, and the Heat came back and won the series to become champions. When all the smoke's clear on his illustrious career, Ray Allen is a Hall of Famer, 10-time All-Star, a member of the NBA's 75th team, 2-time All-NBA team selection. For his career, he averaged 18.9 points, 4.1 rebounds, 3.4 assists, and 1.1 steals per game. Shot an incredible 40% from three-point land and 89% from the charity stripe. And as of this recording, top 25 in scoring with 24,505 points. Needless to say, Ray Allen had a phenomenal career. Certainly one of the greats, a well-rounded player early in his career who aged gracefully into a spot-up shooter. He was definitely ahead of his time. Just imagine if he was playing today. Although his peak wasn't as high as some of his contemporaries, his motto of consistency certainly stands out over most of them. So how good is Ray Allen, you might be wondering. I'm a millennial, so for the sake of argument, I would only compare Ray Allen to players who played from the year 2000 to today. In my opinion, he's the 6th greatest shooting guard of all time, only behind MJ, Kobe, D. Wade, James Harden, and Iverson. Just slightly ahead of T-Mac, Reggie Miller, and Vince Carter due to more playoff success and longevity. Let me know what you think of where I have Ray Allen ranked. Too high or too low? Let me know in the comments. Anyway, that's all for today. Thanks for watching. Please smash the like button and subscribe. Have a fantastic day.